号机现在切附近，不要到商量身上。
你可以稍微往边上一点，然后对，好，这样，好。
我声音。
等我说开始之后，然后商阳自己数10秒，然后再摇到，再慢慢摇。哎，请说。好，商阳不能说话。好，从现在开始，商阳不要说话。好，明白。
我给你收拾。
好，那我们现在可以进火车了吧？火车上吧。进来，到。
Hello everyone, good afternoon from China's Xinjiang. You're watching a live program here on Xinhua. I'm Shang Yang with Xinhua News Agency. For the past few days, we've been traveling to different Chinese towns and cities to find out their history and how they have been revitalized by the Belt and Road Initiative. That's why we have this series of program live on Facebook, on Twitter, and YouTube about the Belt and Road Initiative. Well, today, this week actually, we are in Xinjiang exploring the capital city of Urumqi. And yesterday, we had a very nice tour at the International Grand Bazaar, and so much things that we experienced there. And today we are at a very different location, but it's a very important place along this Silk Road economic belt. This is China to Europe and Central Asia Free Train Logistics Center in Urumqi. Just now we've seen the train is driving through here, and this is the logistics center serves as a very important hub for the freight trains. You know, actually Xinjiang serves the last stop in China before the trains heading westwards into many Central Asian countries. So we are so happy to have you with us today on this live tour here. Large containers have already been distributed here in this logistics center, and later on we'll check and have a very exclusive look of how they will be lifted from the trucks and be put on to the train carriages here. So this logistics center here in Urumqi began its operation actually in May 2016, and by March 2017, already 200 trips of freight trains have been accomplished here. That's why we say this is a very important hub and center for the Silk Road economic belt here. So talking about the Belt and Road Initiative, you know, China will host the Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation in May this year to further advance this initiative with very concrete and practical plans. That's why in the past few weeks we've been traveling to many places, different provinces in China. We've been to the port city in Quanzhou, and also been to the home of silk producing in China, in eastern Zhejiang province. And now we are in Xinjiang this week. And yesterday actually was our first stop here in Xinjiang. We experienced the tour there in the Grand Bazaar in Urumqi, the capital city of Xinjiang. And today we are at a totally different location. This is the China to Europe and Central Asia Freight Train Logistics Center in Urumqi, as Xinjiang is designated as a hub along the Silk Road. And so this logistics center holds a very important place along that Silk Road. And also this is also will be called modern Silk Rail. Actually now we're seeing huge trucks driving in here before those very gigantic containers will be lifted by those trucks to the train carriage. There will actually be 41 train carriages for this line here. So we will be having a very close look there to see how those containers will be lifted and put on to the train carriages. So we will have many shots here about that. So you're watching containers will be lifted up, and then they will put on to the train carriages. This will take normally a pretty long time here. There will be 41 containers be lifted. So this process is very amazing to see that, for me to see that in person. So for those who are just joining us here, we are live on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. This is our special live program on the Belt and Road Initiative for China is hosting the Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation in May, and for international brainstorming to further advance this initiative with very concrete and practical plans. And so, this week we're exploring the capital city of Xinjiang, Urumqi, and we are right now at the logistics center that serves the freight train that connects China with Europe and Central Asian countries here. So right now we're seeing, huge trucks are lifting gigantic containers and put them onto train carriages here. This is a very amazing scene to see for our viewers. So join us for this live tour here at the Logistics Center in Urumqi, capital city of China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region here. Wow, you see those very large containers will be lifted up and then put on to the train before they are heading westwards to many Central Asian countries and to Europe. Just take a look to see how the container is lifted. Well, as you're watching, we're seeing the whistle is blown there from the train. But right now you're seeing, is a gigantic container being lifted and put on to the train. And this is the freight train connecting China with Central Asian and European countries. And this is our live program on the Belt and Road Initiative, which refers to, the Silk Road Economic Belt and the 21st Century Maritime Silk Road. So for the past few weeks, as I said many times, we've been traveling to different Chinese cities and towns to find out about their history, their cultures, and how they have been revitalized by this Belt and Road Initiative. And this week we're in Xinjiang and exploring the city, the capital city, Urumqi. And after seeing the Grand Bazaar yesterday, here we are bringing you this live tour here in the logistics center that serves the freight train between China and Europe and China and Central Asian countries, very, very large containers are being lifted onto the train before they're heading westwards. They will cross the border at Horgos and Alataw Pass before heading to many, many Central Asian countries here. So for those who are just joining us here, we're live on Facebook, on Twitter, and YouTube. So feel free to retweet or repost our live video here to share the stories about this logistics center, about the cultures in Xinjiang with your friends here. 41 carriages will be lifted from those huge trucks to the train before they can be heading westwards to Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and many other Central Asian countries, and also Europe. So this freight train, is also called in modern times. It's also called the Silk Rail because in historic. For historic records, this pathway, the ancient Silk Road, used to have horses and camels carrying merchants and their goods between Asia and Europe, and now we have freight trains. This transportation is actually faster than ships and cheaper than airplane, and also it carries much more cargo volume than highways. So that's why this is a relatively green and sustainable way of transportation on this Silk Road. So talking about that, the Belt and Road initiative was proposed by Chinese President Xi Jinping in the year 2013. This is a modern, trade and infrastructure network connecting Asia and Europe with China. And for the past 3 years, a lot has been achieved. And in this May, China is hosting the Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation to brainstorm with international partners to further advance this initiative with very concrete and practical plans. That's why Xinhua is making this series of live programs on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube of the Belt and Road. We've been traveling to many places in China, port cities on the Silk Road, and we've been to the home of silk production in China. We've been to Hainan, and now we are in Xinjiang this week and exploring many landmark places in the city. So right now this is the logistics center for the freight train that connects China to Europe and China to Central Asian countries. This is the logistics center actually in Urumqi. We are looking at some of the containers, gigantic containers being lifted up from the trucks onto the train carriages, and before they can be heading westwards to other countries. So there will be actually 41 containers being lifted and put on to the train carriages. And this logistics center began its operation in 2016 in May, and by March 2017, about 200 trips of freight trains have already been accomplished. So now it is getting close to 1 trip per day. So we're seeing more trips being made between China and Europe. A lot of the trade ties are getting closed with this new modern Silk Rail established. Maybe it takes more than 2 weeks from China to Europe to carrying all those goods, but thinking about how we were able to transport that in the past, on the ancient Silk Road, camel caravan were used to carry trading products from China to Central Asian countries and to Europe. But now we have this freight train, which is really faster than ships, but cheaper than airplane and carries much more cargo volume than highway. So this is a relatively it's a relatively green and sustainable way of transportation here. You're seeing those gigantic containers being lifted up with the trucks, and so there will be 41 containers being lifted here. So As I said, this is a logistics center here. So many products actually maybe from different provinces of China. So they gather here. They will be repackaged. There is a repackaging before they can be shipped, to other countries. That's why we say this is a logistics center. So you see all those containers are, the same size, and the things will be repacked and put into those containers and then lifted them onto the train carriages. Then they will be heading westwards, to those countries in Central Asia and also Europe, because there will be a reshaping of those products here. There might be, laptops, cell phones, auto parts, different kinds of products, items that will be transported to other countries. So they gather here. The packages will be those containers. Actually, there is a process of repackaging. So after everything will be classified and put together orderly onto those containers, then they will be lifted from the huge trucks onto the train carriages and then will head westwards. So for those who are just joining us here, we're live in China's Xinjiang, the capital city of Urumqi. You are watching a very large container being lifted here and put it onto the train. This is the freight train connecting China and Europe, and also China and Central Asian countries here. The container is carrying goods that are produced and made in China, and then they will be transported to Central Asian countries. And this logistics center serves as a hub, a transportation hub, or a gathering platform, because different kinds of products will be gathered here. That they might be laptops, cell phones, auto parts, cables, all those different kinds of construction materials or electronic materials that were used in the past or will be used in the future for construction, and they will be gathering here and then put into those containers then before they can be transported to other countries here. So this could take some time, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours. There will be 41 carriages or 41 containers being put onto those carriages. So you're watching this one here. You see how they will be lifted up. It's really interesting and amazing to see that in person. How how heavy the machine is and how big this container is, and then they will be lined up on this train, 41 of them, before they will be transported to countries after crossing the border here. So for those who are just joining us here, we're live at the capital city of China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. This is Urumqi. And for the past few weeks, we've been traveling to different Chinese towns and places, and we explore their culture, find out about their history, and to see how they have been revitalized by the Belt and Road Initiative. Speaking of that, the Belt and Road Initiative was proposed by Chinese President Xi Jinping in the year of 2013, and that refers to the Silk Road economic belt and the 21st century maritime Silk Road. And it's really a modern trade and infrastructure network connecting Asia and European, African countries. And so for the past 3.5 years, a lot has been achieved, and China is hosting the Belt and Road Forum in May for international cooperation to brainstorm with its international partners to further advance this initiative and for very concrete and practical plans. As I said earlier, this freight train, they will gather here to collect all those containers, and then they will head westwards to Central Asian countries and to Europe. So they will cross the border. Normally, they used to be crossing the border of Alataw Pass. And now, in February, a new pass has been started to be operated. That's a Horgus port. So before heading to other countries, they will cross the borders there. So next, I want you guys to take a look of how the containers there will be lifted at Alataw Pass. So we want to show you a very, very short video to see what happens in Alataw Pass before the freight train heading westwards into Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and other Central Asian countries and also European countries. So we want to show you a video on that. So to see the Alataw Pass and what happens there before the freight train goes westwards. So guys, for those who are just joining us here, we're live on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. And for this series of live programs on the Belt and Road Initiative, and after traveling to western parts of China, we are here in Xinjiang, in capital city Urumqi. This is the China to Europe and Central Asian freight train logistics center here in Urumqi, and 41 containers like this, gigantic containers, will be lifted from those large trucks onto the train before they will be transported to other countries. So guys, take a look there, and also I want to show you a video. I want to show you a video about what happens in Alataw Pass before trains can be heading further to westward countries here. So I want to show you a video to see what happens at Alataw Pass here. So stay tuned. Stay tuned here. We are live in Urumqi, capital city of northwest China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. So a short video will show you what happens at Alataw Pass. Take a look. shape, the voice. That was a short video demonstrating what happens at the Alataw Pass in Xinjiang before the freight train finally crossed the border and heading further westwards to Central Asian countries and to European countries. I mean, why? Why we have to? I mean, make a change at the Alataw Pass because there are different standards of rails according to different countries. So in China, there might be a specific kind of rail that we're using, but in different countries, the size, the shape, and the width of rail might be different. So that's why we make a stopover at Alataw Pass, and then we lift those containers from this rail and to another railway, and to put it on that line of carriages, and then they can heading further westwards to Central Asian countries. Because the rail has been changed, we have to make a change there to lift those containers and put it onto a different line there, so they can go smoothly further to Central Asian and European countries. That's what happened at Alataw Pass before the freight train crosses the border. Well, we've been live here at Urumqi in capital city of China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region here. This is our live program specifically for Belt and Road Initiative. And for the past few weeks, we've been traveling to different Chinese towns and cities and find out about their history, their cultures, and also to check out, how they have been revitalized by the initiative here. And today we are at the logistics center that connects, actually serves the freight train that connects China with Europe and Central Asian countries. 41 containers, you might have seen that earlier. 41 containers will be lifted, put it onto the train carriages. So I'm wondering what's inside those freight trains. There might be laptops, cell phones, auto parts that are manufactured in China and will be transported to the markets along this route. And also there will be maybe baby formula, red wine, luxury goods that are coming from European countries. Well, actually more than that. So here I'm at the logistics center. One section of the center here just shows you what's waiting to be loaded onto the carriages or containers before they can go further to other countries. This is cable, I think. This is cable. Just have a wider shot here. Cables will be transported to European countries or Central Asian countries here. Well, look at here. This is a traditional Chinese sauce. If you come closer here, a traditional Chinese sauce which is very famous in Sichuan, southwestern province. Those traditional Chinese sauces will be transported to European countries. So our European friends and will have a taste of China's locally made sauce here. Just have a shot of how many of these are waiting here to be loaded to those trains, and then they can go further to other countries here. Well, look at this one. All foods, different kind of foods. This is Xinjiang local foods. It's a special kind of chicken with their local style, and they will be transported also to other countries here. They're waiting here to be loaded onto those trains. If we can come here a little bit further, I think this is steel wire. steel wire, construction materials. Many of them here are lined up before they will be loaded to containers. As I said earlier, this is a logistics center in Urumqi, capital of Xinjiang. And so all those different kinds of goods, products, trading products will be gathering here. There will be a repackaging because they will be put into those containers which are of the same size and heading, and then they will be transported to other countries. All those are very, very popular construction material that will be transported to Central Asian countries, might be Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, or European countries like Poland and Germany. Here, well, what's inside these blue containers here? I'm just being told by our crew here, these are ketchups inside before they will transport it to European countries. Here, these are also foods, I believe. It's kind of spicy sauce, locally made spicy sauce here. Now they have been packed here before they will be loaded to those containers here. So for those who are just joining us here, we're live in the capital city of northwest China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region for the Belt and Road Initiative. This is our special program for that. And we are at the logistics center here. I'm just checking what's inside of those freight trains that will be transported to European, also to Central Asian countries here. Just let you guys have a look of all those kind of foods, construction materials, or even carpets that they will be packed here, put into those containers, and then they will be lifted to train carriages. 41 of them will be gathered for a train before they can be heading to other countries and crossing the border at Alataw Pass there. And we just showed you a short video earlier, and to check, what happens at Alataw Pass before, this freight train finally gets to its destination, because the different kinds of rail systems we're using, because it's different that, because China using a different kind of rail here. Take a look. This is the rail that we're using, but for other countries like Uzbekistan or maybe European countries, they're using a different kind of rail. That's why we have to make a stopover at Alataw Pass, and we move those containers onto the train that are staying on a different rail, and then they can be finally or smoothly going to other countries after crossing the border there. And also in February, the Horgos port, a newly operated port, will be serving as another pass for the freight train to go there, and that is also providing a low-cost, sustainable platform for the freight train. And also Alataw Pass is another one. So 2 passes will be operated for trains to go further here. If we take a look at these banners here, the red one is written in Chinese. That says, China to Europe, freight train, and one belt, one road. And if we go further there a little bit, that's the English translation for that. It says China, Europe, and Central Asian Freight Train Logistics Center in Urumqi. Just take a look at that banner here. So it's a very clear picture for informing everyone who are just joining us here. We are live. You're listening. You're hearing something, right? That's the train driving into this logistics center here. Just to let you know, we're at Urumqi Logistics Center that serves the freight train connecting China and Central Asian countries, and also China and European countries. Maybe you're just looking at the image of a train just driving into this logistics center. Earlier, we showed you how the 41 containers carrying all kinds of those goods will be loaded onto the train and carriages, and this takes hours maybe. So we were able to show you that. I was very excited to see that, this gigantic container being lifted by a truck and then put it onto the train and then heading westwards, carrying all kinds of products, trading products here. I was just checking out what's inside the freight trains normally, and I saw some ketchups, were packed in those blue containers, and then I saw a different special kind of sauce that was made in southwestern China. Maybe they will be transported to European countries, and I saw a lot of those construction materials, steel wire or cables, very important construction materials, and they're waiting here to be loaded, packed into the containers. So this is our live program on the Belt and Road Initiative. Just to let you know, that the initiative was proposed by Chinese President Xi Jinping in the year 2013, and the Belt refers to the Silk Road economic belt, and that the road refers to the 21st century maritime Silk Road. So Xinjiang is a must-see stop on that economic belt. And also, talking about Xinjiang, this Urumqi Logistics Center is a very, very significant transportation hub for the freight trains connecting China and Europe. So 200 trips of freight trains have already been accomplished by March 2017. This center began its operation in 2016. You are hearing that's coming from the train over there. And also, a Xinjiang land port will be operating soon here. So that land port covers an area of 120 square kilometers, and will serve as a center to provide services in regulation, logistics, and for industrial development. Well, you're looking at the live image here of the train moving or driving into this logistics center. So guys, you will be very, very excited right now, because I am going to meet or talk to the driver for this train. We'll talk to him and see what kind of information he can be sharing with us. As we're walking, you're hearing that from the train. Just to let you know, this is a logistics center here in Urumqi, in Xinjiang. This is a special program for the Belt and Road Initiative, and I'm very excited right now to witness what happens here at this logistics center before, those 41 containers be transported to European and Central Asian countries. Very, very fascinating to see that happening, and so we're so happy to have you with us here. Well, now I'm just trying to get across this rail, and we will be meeting the driver for this train. Just be careful over there. This is the rail that at the logistics center here in Urumqi. And I said earlier that at Alataw Pass, there will be a stopover for the freight train, because there will be a different rail being used heading to other countries. That's why we make a change. We move those containers from this rail to the train that's staying on the other rail, and before they can be heading westwards. You are looking at this train, the freight train here, and I'm gonna go there and talk to the driver and to see what information he will be sharing with us, driving this freight train on this modern Silk Road. This is actually also be called modern Silk Rail, because it connects China with the European and Central Asian countries, carrying all kinds of different products here, trading products here. I just checked out what's inside the freight trains, inside those containers over there. Still remember? We saw some electronic wires, cables or steel wires, and ketchups, local sauces were transporting to European countries. Very interesting. Now, we're heading over there. Take a look. This is the number for this train, guys. Now we're heading there and talk to the driver to see what he will be sharing with us. So join us here. Hi. Come on in, guys. So, very exciting here. Just to let you guys know, I am inside the carriage here, and this is the driver for this train, the freight train here. So I'm going to talk to him, see what he will be sharing with us regarding this freight train connecting China and European countries. So, hello, 你好。您叫什么名字？您坐下。
我叫孟志鹏。
Mr. Meng is the driver for this freight train. 这列火车是驶向哪里？
阿拉山口。
Well, this train will heading to Alataw Pass. So earlier we showed you a video of what happens there at the Alataw Pass before the train crossed the border and going further. 那么这个车到阿拉山口要多久
？6到7个小时。
Okay, 6 to 7 hours. So in 6 or 7 hours, the train will be arriving in Alataw Pass. 今天车上都装了什么？
这个货物我不太清楚，应该是百货类吧。
Okay, all kinds of products were loaded into the containers. We saw that earlier. See how the containers were lifted onto the train. And so, how many years have you been driving this train? 开车开了多久了
？12年。
12 hours. 12 hours. So, what's the experience like for you? You know, to drive this freight train and going to Alataw Pass. 开这样一列中欧班列的车，你是什么样的一个感受？
首先能牵引中欧班列，我非常的骄傲。在了这个随着这个“一带一路”和这个“一带一路”深入发展，现在这个货运量不断增加，现在这个中欧班列的频次也比较多。
So Meng was just telling me that he is very proud to be the driver for this freight train, the China-Europe freight train, especially after the initiative was proposed by Chinese president in 2013. And also, according to him, the cargo volume is on the rise since that initiative, and more stuff are being loaded onto this train, and they will be transported further to Central Asian countries, European countries. So this is really a hub that's serving the modern Silk Road there. 一般您开车之前都准备什么？
首先刚才挂头的环节，就是机车挂完头之后，我要检查机车挂头状态。挂完头之后要对整列车进行试风作业。确保这列车的制动状态良好。
This is the control platform here for him. If we can we have a shot of this? The control here, the control platform for Mr. Meng. And normally this carriage will first be docking with other containers, and then he will have a few checks before he can start operation. Okay. 一会儿火车要几点要出发？
就等他们这个车站给我开放信号，我就准时开车。
So Meng is waiting for the signal from the control room there before the train will be finally departing. So he will be waiting for the signal, and then the train will be finally departing here from this logistics center and going further. First, they will be stopping at Alataw Pass there, and then the freight train will cross the pass and heading westwards to Central Asian countries and European countries here. So guys, for those who are just joining us, we're live here at the logistics center in Urumqi, capital of northwest China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. We are talking to the driver. We're talking to the driver of this freight train, and soon this train will be departing from this logistics center, heading to Alataw Pass, and then cross the border there, and then heading further westwards to Central Asian countries and to European countries here. And this is Mr. Meng. He has been driving the freight train, China-Europe freight train for 12 I mean, he has been a train driver for 12 years, and he's very proud to be driving the freight train connecting China and Europe. And since that initiative was proposed by Chinese President Xi Jinping in 2013, the cargo volume is still on the rise here. As I said earlier, by March 2017, 200 trips have already been made, and now it's getting close to 1 trip per day. Just let you guys know that, the China-Europe freight train is one of the longest rail trains in the world, and it takes about 16 days for this train to get to Germany from China. And also, all different kinds of products will be loaded onto the containers before they will be lifted onto the train carriages. We checked what's inside those freight trains, auto parts, household goods, and clothing, construction materials. We saw some cables, steel wires, very important construction materials being used here, and they are waiting to be loaded onto the containers here. So Meng said he is very proud, and this is his control platform there, and he's waiting for the signal of the control room for this logistics center before the train can be departing here and heading westwards. The stopover will be at Alataw Pass. An earlier video just demonstrates how the containers will be removed from this train and onto another rail. And because the different kinds of rails that are being used from China and other countries, and that's what happens there at Alataw Pass. And after that is done, the train will cross the border and go to European countries and Central Asian countries here. So guys, we're live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. This is our special program on the Belt and Road Initiative. We're talking to the driver of the China-Europe freight train here. His name is Meng. He's been driving trains for 12 years. He's very, very proud to be a driver for the freight train here. Especially this serves as a modern Silk Road. This serves as a modern Silk Road here, connecting China and Europe. Well, look here, guys. We can see the Chinese written banners there. It says China, Europe, Central Asian freight train, Urumqi Logistics Center. You are just seeing the rails. The rails here, that's the rails that the train will be staying on and heading to Alataw Pass. Takes about 6 or 7 years for the train to get there. And we are inside this control room here and talking to the driver, Meng. And he just told us that he's waiting for the final signal of the train control room before the train can be departing here from this logistics center here. So we will be heading out. Nice talking to you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, guys, that's Meng, the driver of this freight train. We're heading out of the freight train here. Okay, we were talking to the driver of this freight train, Mr. Meng. He's very proud to be driving the freight train that connects China with Europe and Central Asian countries there. And this is the logistics center serves the freight train that connecting China and European countries. We are at China, Europe, and Central Asian freight train logistics center here in Urumqi, the capital city of northwest China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region here. This is a really exclusive and a very exciting tour today. We just saw how those 41 containers, gigantic containers being lifted from the trucks onto the train carriages, and then they will be I think the train is about to be departing in any minute and heading to Alataw Pass. The train will be departing soon in any minute and heading to Alataw Pass. Takes about 6 to 7 hours to get there, and they will cross border there and go further westwards to Central Asian countries and European countries. So guys, stay tuned for more as we continue our journey tomorrow here in Xinjiang. We will be witnessing how the train is leaving here and heading to Central Asian or European countries. So we'll bye for now. Stay tuned for this live show. I'm Shangyang. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Bye.
变了
啊，
变了这么多，我都快不行了，接收太多的信号。你很多没说完是吗？
说完了都。
啊，那太棒了。
啊，就那个国。